It is Friday, and that means John Brown is in your town, and we found a great spot to send him today.
Yeah, he is in the town that they call the Modern Day Mayberry. John is joining us live from Winter Garden this afternoon. So, John, why do they call it that?
Oh, Luann, this place is just special. We're going to show you that throughout the next couple of hours here on Fox 35 News. You know, what's so interesting to me is when I get to come out and do these kind of shows, that I get to learn just as much as anybody else when I do these shows. For example, where we're standing right now, this trail used to be the railroad tracks. That's why this town was first put on the map, really, because of all the people coming here for this reason. So we're going to show you a lot of stuff today, and you ask about the Modern Day Mayberry. Another thing I learned, this whole stretch here with the restaurants and the outdoor dining, they call it an outdoor living room. And the whole idea here is that the residents can leave their homes, come out here, relax and socialize in a safe and comfortable environment. And it's working. The town has gone from about 5,000 residents a couple of decades ago to more than 50,000 today. But it still retains a small town charm by design. So coming up in just a bit, we're going to talk to the mayor about how they're making it all work. As always, today we're going to take you on a restaurant tour. We have a little women's shopping tour as well. And of course, just like always, we're going to give you a little history lesson as well. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the last show when we were over in New Smyrna Beach, I said, if you want me to come to your town, just let me know. Well, look at this. One of the guys here, Jeff, actually made me this mug. It says, John Brown in your town, Winter Garden Edition. So you know we had to come visit this town. And just before we started the show today in this Modern Day Mayberry, look at this. The Plant Street flower cart came by with Hope. Hi, Hope. Good to see you.
Hello. Nice to see you.
All right. So you caught my attention riding by on the trail here. There goes another one by on the trail. So tell us about what your business is here.
So I've been working at the Plant Street flower cart for a little over a year now. Honestly, it's not really a job because I absolutely love what I do. Flowers are my passion. I have a wonderful boss, Miss Tasha Harrison, and this is her business, and thankfully she's trusted me to take care of it.
And so you set up on the weekends, right? And
Yes,
here's an idea, guys. Mother's Day weekend. You're going to be busy, aren't you?
Mother's Day is one of our biggest holidays. We take private orders throughout the week. Also, it's prom season, so we also do corsages, boutonnieres, whatever you guys need. We don't have a storefront, but we can do anything that a regular florist can do, and we do it with a little bit of pizzazz as well.
I love it, Hope. Thanks. All right, I know you got to get down and get to work. I'm glad we were able to stop you before you took off. So again, we have a lot to show you here today in Winter Garden. It's John Brown in your town right here on Fox 35. We're back with the check of that forecast as well.
Friday means a little road trip for the crew today.
John Brown is in your town, Winter Garden, and he joins us now to show us around. John, I don't know where to begin. The flowers, a personalized mug I've been staring at all week. Luann and I want one, by the way.
I know people. How about that? I'll take care of it. I think I know a few people. No, this town is so cool. I know, Ray, you've been out here recently, and we've just been raving about everything that's happening here in Winter Garden. And this fountain here in Centennial Plaza, this is somewhat of a new addition because this, again, was the railroad tracks. So we're talking a little bit about the history here. And much like a lot of the stories I do, there's a similar history in Winter Garden and the other towns. You have these boom years, and then things kind of dwindle a little bit, and now we're back. And that's one of the things that's attracted people here, of course, was the weather. We talk about that all the time. Weather and nature draws people down here. Another reason this town boomed a long time ago was thanks to agriculture. Massive citrus farms all around Winter Garden. And the third reason a lot of people came here was the trains. When they came to town, the people came. And that's pretty much Winter Garden in a nutshell. I caught up with a local historian to find out how this town actually came to be and where that name, Winter Garden, really came from.
Basically a fabulous marketing tool. You could grow vegetables and citrus in the winter and flowers. People flocked here for the warm weather and the fact that they could practice agriculture all year round.
Really good marketing trying to lure people from up north, right?
Basically, yes.
All right, so we're in front of one of the old railroad cars here. That is awesome. Tell us about the railroad history here, because as that goes, you guys go.
Yeah, we had started growing citrus and vegetables 125 years ago, and we needed some means to move this all out of here. Boats going across Lake Apopka weren't too economical. It was kind of a lot of drudgery involved in that, so 2 railroads were set up in West Orange County by 1899. We had 2 railroads shipping citrus and vegetables for the next 125 years. It was a means to get it all out of here. And basically the city then grew up around the railroad depots.
So again, the area grew because of the orange farms, which went on for miles and miles. Now, another piece of history, the rubber tractor tire was invented right here in Winter Garden on Plant Street. And so, again, it was a tourist destination. Lake Apopka at one point also being named the largemouth bass capital of the world. That's about a mile north of where we are. And that's important because we know that the farming practices are one of the reasons that Lake Apopka became one of the most polluted lakes in the nation. But that's all now changing too. They just had one of their first major fishing tournaments in decades out here. So Lake Apopka had its boom, it dwindled and came back, much like the city of Winter Garden. Boom in the 20s, dwindled in the 80s, and then is back now roaring. And this town is fantastic. You know, and it's ironic here, we're standing right next to this, which I'd love to jump in. Normally when we come out, we talked about this town actually dwindling because of the freezes, and now Brooks and I are here talking about the record heat. Brooks, by the way, is right over there with the Fox 35 the Storm Team Thunder Truck. He has a look at your forecast ahead for Mother's Day. Brooks.
That's right, John. John, it is so hot out here, but this is a great town. Talk about the whole enchilada, right? Oh, speaking of, hey, that happens to be the name of the Mexican restaurant we're next to. Really good spot as well. We're here with the Fox 35 Storm Team Thunder Truck in Winter Garden, giving you the forecast on this beautiful but very warm Friday. A little preview of summer. 98 degrees right now, the dew point 68, so there's a little bit of humidity in the air. You can tell that summer is right around the corner. Speaking of right around the corner, check this out. We've got some storms up here in the Panhandle. Actually, a tornado watch until 7 o'clock for the Panhandle. This action coming our way late tonight, but it's going to lose its punch. We're not looking at any kind of a major severe threat. Certainly no tornadoes, but a possibility of some gusty thunderstorms later. In the weather headlines, looking at a beautiful blue sky right now. Storms developing overnight, so heads up, when you're sleeping, you might be woken up by a clap of thunder. It'll be followed by a beautiful Mother's Day after kind of a stormy Saturday, and then an ocean storm on the way for next week. This is one to watch. We'll talk about the ocean storm in a second, but first let's talk about our forecast with future clouds and radar. The storms in the Panhandle will be making their way south and east, and so as we head toward, I'll say 9 o'clock, we may see a couple developing in Alachua County. Those will progress quickly toward the villages by 2 in the morning and also Hernando County. And then after that, Orlando, before daybreak around 5 or 5:30, we should see a line of some storms rolling through. The cold front staying far to the north, so those are just storms outrunning the front. The front will slowly approach and move through the region about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and behind that we'll start to cool things down, and that'll really change things. Let's talk about that ocean storm coming for next week. So this one's interesting. The cold front moving through tonight and tomorrow is actually the attendant cold front to this system that'll be moving out into the Atlantic, and in doing so, this thing stalls and then retrogrades back to the east coast. It actually comes back to the west, and it has an outside chance to actually gain some tropical characteristics as it sits over the Gulf Stream waters. That would have very little impact on us if it becomes a subtropical system, but it might get a name, so a heads up on that. The effects here, we're talking about mild weather, breezy weather, and a couple of passing showers. Let's jump to the 7-day forecast. The heat wave that we're currently enduring is about to end. Tomorrow and Sunday, highs close to 90 degrees, but lower and middle 80s with that ocean system. The only catch, Lou and Ray, is that it is going to be a wavy week next week. The beaches could see breakers over 10 feet.
Welcome back to John Brown in your town. We're in Centennial Plaza right here in the middle of historic Winter Garden. If you haven't been here lately, well, you are missing a lot because this town is going through a renaissance. Let's talk to the mayor. He is right over here. It's Mayor John Reese. Good to see you, John. Appreciate you having us out here today.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about this area here. I've heard so many people call this area the outdoor living room. All right, explain that to us here in Winter Garden.
Well, actually, when COVID hit, we decided we want to be safe. We wanted all the people to still enjoy the ambiance of downtown. Our city went, they purchased all the railing, all the tables, set all this up, and I tell you what, it's been a godsend for all of our businesses downtown because people love coming down here, they love sitting outside, they love eating, it brings back the social aspects of it, and getting to visit and talk with everyone.
Okay, so you know this town. You grew up here. You've been the mayor for about 15 years, I believe. You were on the council for a decade before that. Tell us about your experience over the years here, how it's come back to this. Was there a time when you had lost hope in what was going on here?
Well, yeah, I don't know about losing hope, but when my wife and I grew up here, downtown was the center of everything. Everybody gathered downtown, everybody did their shopping downtown. Then during the freezes of 83, 85, and 89, it just decimated so many areas, and we were agriculture based.
So the biggest key to success for you guys, if you were to look back now and say, this was the moment that we turned it all around, is there one or is it a combination of factors?
It's a combination of factors. I think you have to start with the trail, bringing a trail through downtown Winter Garden, which at the same time started the streetscape where we took the asphalt back up, we put the bricks back, we landscape, and then we started working hard to get businesses downtown. If you notice downtown, you're mostly all mom and pop businesses. We worked hard to get mom and pop businesses down here. Restaurants started opening and people just started coming down here. One of the things we like to refer to ourselves as, and it's even in our budget book, is we're the modern day Mayberry.
All right, Mr. Mayor, always good to see you. Appreciate you having us out here today.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so once again, if you want to come out here, check out one of the downtown restaurants. It's easy, there's space, although today it's going to get pretty packed over the next few hours because of the concerts taking place. You can always check out their website for more information, which we have on our website, fox35orlando.com. All right, we're going to send it back into you guys in the studio.
Well, Winter Garden, John Brown is in your town today. Let's get out live to him now. John, Winter Garden's really becoming famous for something many wouldn't expect, and I definitely wouldn't expect you to know all about that.
Well, that's why I come out early, Ray. People don't know this, but I come out to a lot of these towns that we do these shows for 2 or 3 weeks before, and I come out kind of incognito, right? And I'll hang out at some of the local bars, some of the local restaurants, and talk to the locals and say, hey, what makes your town tick? So a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday, I was sitting over there at the Pilar Bar, and they said, what makes this town tick is the bike trail, of course, and you got these great bike shops like this one right here. This place does some great business. And then they also said, did you know that we're known for women's boutique shopping? And so I started checking out some of these, and you got this shop right here, the Boutique on Plant. These places are really amazing. They're beautiful. I had no idea until the local said, you got to check out boutique shopping. So we talked to another local retailer here to find out what makes this place so unique when it comes to women's shopping. Explain why you guys opened up here in Winter Garden.
Well, we're originally from Illinois, but we moved here 4 years ago and had a store in Illinois as well named Shoo Shoo Baby. And we moved here and just felt like there was a real need in downtown Winter Garden. At the time, there was only one other boutique, and we decided to spread our wings and open a second location.
One of the things that surprised me is the first time I came through here, I started noticing all these women-oriented boutiques. And I asked somebody, they said, oh yeah, we're known for that. I didn't know that. So why have you guys become known for like women's boutique and shopping?
Well, I think that Winter Garden in the area has really exploded. It's a really community now and family oriented, and I just think with the addition of restaurants and now shopping, and it's just naturally evolved.
And you guys say you all get along. So what other shops do you have down here that people may need to come check out?
We have the Boutique on Plant, which is up on Plant Street. We have Doxology that's over here on Main, and we also have Apricot Lane that is down on Plant Street as well, and they just opened this year.
All right, so the elevator pitch, right? We always talk about that. If people are thinking, well, maybe I'll go out there, maybe I won't. How do you convince them to come out here and check out your shops?
Oh my goodness, there's so much to do in Winter Garden. There's great restaurants now. We have a wonderful art gallery. There's the shopping. You can have a girls' day. You can stroll around Plant Street and see the historic sites. I mean, there are so many things to do, and it's just a beautiful, very inviting town.
You know, like I said, Ray and Luann, I call it research. I come out and hang out at the local establishments and they tell me what I need to do. It's a pretty cool gig. So you got the shopping, you got great dining, you got great history. And think about this, Winter Garden is this great small feel, right? And if you take this road right here, you're about 15 miles away from downtown Orlando. A little further down, you've got the theme park. So it's pretty close to perfect if you ask me. It's John Brown in your town, Winter Garden edition. I'm going to send it back to you, Ray and Luann.
That story. Well, John and Brooks are braving the hot temperatures today. They are out in Winter Garden.
Oh, and it's hot now, but
yeah.
Brooks, is that a margarita I see?
Yeah, that's a margarita. Hey, John, how you doing? John, how you doing?
Well, I've just gotten used to this whole outdoor living room vibe here, and I love it. You got these nice chairs.
Where's your happy place, John?
Just like the sign says, Winter Garden is my happy place.
John, this is the place to be. We're in front of the Heirloom Amish Furniture Market, enjoying an evening in Winter Garden. How's the weather looking?
Looks pretty good right now. It's shady.
Sure is.
Right. Come on.
I know. Hey, come on through.
In there.
Walking through our living room. You know what? It's time to do the weather, because unfortunately, while the weather's perfect, it's not going to last forever. But our happy time's going to last forever, and our happy place is right here. Let's talk about it. It's 90 degrees right now. Check it out. Dew point 69. So with this warm weather in place, In the approach of a cold front, well, we got a rain chance coming our way. And here it is. All kidding aside, there's a tornado watch in effect for the Panhandle until 7 o'clock. When this line gets down here, it is not expected to be severe, but we could see some rain overnight tonight. Right now, we've got high wispy clouds and our headlines across Central Florida looking over the city beautiful. Storms developing overnight and continuing tomorrow, on and off. Tomorrow's an impact day. Beautiful Mother's Day ahead. And then an ocean storm next week. That ocean storm bringing in mild weather to Central Florida. But tonight, first off, future clouds and radar. We're going to see the rain rolling southward, and so we could see the first storms in Gainesville around 9 o'clock tonight, and it's going to take the better part of the night for these to get toward Orlando. The Villages by 2 a.m., it's a possibility. In Orlando, shortly before daybreak, around 5:30 in the morning, we could see some downpours. Again, not expected to be severe, just heavy rain and some gusty winds. The cold front ultimately moving through on Saturday will cool things down and get us set up for a beautiful Mother's Day weekend. In fact, this ocean storm we're talking about is going to have some impacts. If you have beach plans, might be best to stay on the rocking chair because waves could eclipse 10 feet at the beaches, breaking. This is what happens. The front moves offshore, ocean storms develop, and then the storm moves back westward. It retrogrades to the east coast. In doing so, it may actually gain some subtropical characteristics. It might even get a name. Whatever happens with it, the effects here will be the same, breezy and mild with passing showers next week. In fact, we're going to see highs in the lower to middle 80s instead of the middle 90s like we had today. 90 tomorrow, close to 90 on Sunday. Beautiful weather, breezy for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Easy breezy, and a chance for a couple of showers. You know, John, next week as we look at this beautiful vista in front of the Heirloom Amish Furniture Market, it's going to be one of those weeks that I can take this home. What do you think?
That's why it's my happy place. Well, I'm just going to say,
me too.
As I'm getting older and older, rocking chairs fit me more and more. Happy Friday.
John, rocking chairs are ageless. I'm right there with you. Back to you guys.
I don't even know how to follow that up.
I know you guys are too young for rocking chairs, but you look like you're having fun.
The heat is turning up in Central Florida, and one great way to cool down, an ice cold beer. We're talking about alcohol a lot tonight.
A lot on this show, yeah. John Brown is in your town, Winter Garden, on this Friday. He joins us live from one spot that's offering more than just cold beer. Right, John?
Oh, yeah, this is called Crooked Can Brewing Company. It's really right down, just a few blocks behind us here off Plant Street. It's one of the coolest new additions to this town because where it's at used to be a problem piece of property. City leaders told me that it was an old apartment complex and they had so many issues with, they just wanted to knock it down. But then some guys got together and they came up with a very cool idea, and that's how that place came to be.
We wanted to create a space in downtown Winter Garden under the beautiful oak trees. And we wanted to be a space where people could spread out. So if you were coming here as a young couple, you'd have your space. If you're coming here as a family, you'd have your space. If you're coming here with dogs, you'd have your space. And so that's why we built the big spread out patio, so people could kind of spread out and just have their own little unique space that's unique to them.
Now the concept inside, so you have the crooked can on this part,
Yeah.
and as you walk down, you have a little bit of everything.
Yes.
So how did that all come about?
Yeah, so we found this space, and as you said, it had some rundown apartments on it, and we felt that the space was too big to just have a brewery. So we said, what if we can come up with this concept that has the artisan market and the brewery? And the artisan market attracts people who want to drink beer, and the brewery attracts people that want to eat and go to the artisan market. So it'd be a great marriage, and so it's worked out really well.
Yeah, and that is such a cool vibe in that place. You certainly got to check that out if you come out here to Winter Garden. And I will say, as hot as it was when we started this show 1 hour ago, the temps have dropped. There's a little cloud cover right now, which is good because this is Centennial Plaza. You see the fountain. Just on the other side of that is a little gazebo. We're going to have a live band starting up here. People are going to be gathering in this area, listening to some live music tonight. So when I say this town is on fire, everything's going right, I'm not joking. We have another full hour to show you everything that's going right here in Winter Garden. It's John Brown in your town. I'm going to send back into you, Ray and Luann.
Yeah, it's also on fire, John, because it's hot out there. We see you standing in the shade, trying to stay cool. We'll be back with you in just a few. Well, it is Friday, Central Florida, and we're taking you on a road trip. It's John Brown in your town.
And today, John is setting up camp in Winter Garden. John, I recently went out to the farmer's market there on a weekend, and it had everything you could think of. It was pretty cool.
Well, I think it does surprise a lot of people, Ray. They don't realize that that's really one of the best farmers markets in the entire state. And I think what surprises people even more is that this town itself is known for the arts. I mean, just look behind us here. You have Pilar's, which is a local bar. And a cool story about that place, Pilar's, they have open mic night. And although I can't say too much, you may actually see people who work in the theme parks during the day come there to perform at night for open mic. Then right next door, you have the Garden Theater. That place is spectacular. We're going to tell you more about that throughout the day, too. So you have a vibrant theater scene, some great art galleries, and a whole lot of arts here in Winter Garden. I mean, just last weekend, they had a huge art festival here. Amazing artists that display their works at the gallery in downtown, and then many of the retailers also display some of those same works. And then you also have that historic theater right along Plant Street. As we showed you, it's called the Garden Theater. It's been here since 1935 and was the first theater in Central Florida built for talkies, or motion pictures with sound. That was way back then. It went out of business in 1963, and that's when the business owner next door used that as a warehouse for his invention, which was rubber tires for tractors. A whole lot of history right there. Those were invented right here. Then the theater came back in 2002, and I caught up with Diana Duffy of the Winter Garden Art Association to explain why this town is so unique in this way.
There aren't many towns that still have a theater like this and put on these type of shows. You've seen some of these shows.
I've seen all the shows.
Tell us about the shows in here.
The shows range. They try to accommodate everyone's likes and dislikes.
I was told I can't say too much because there might be some contractual issues, but there might be some theme parks around that people perform over there and also come here. So you're talking top-level talent here.
I think there might be. In fact, those people hang around town a lot.
The what? Right now? Yep, and then you also have, like Ray said, the farmers market on Saturdays, which draws thousands of people every weekend. Even more artists there, even more creators showcasing their works. So you get the point. This place is an artistic gem right here in Central Florida. And before we send it over to Brooks, I want to show you one other cool new addition. That right there is the new splash pad. It's been around for a little while, but as you can see on a day when it's 96 degrees in Winter Garden, that's where a lot of people are hanging out, at the splash pad. And I can tell you, we've still got, what, another 45 minutes, Brooks? We might end up in there before this is all said and done because it's hot, although some better weather's on the way.
It is. It is true, John, but with every positive weather change, you have to pay for it, right? And we're going to do so tonight and tomorrow. All right, that's a look at the weather forecast. John, back to you.
Still to come on John Brown in Your Town, we are taking you back in time. A 1920s era hotel has been redone. It's now bed and breakfast with all the current amenities. I mean, look at this place. This is old Florida at its best. Even the original Otis elevator. We're taking you inside there, and we'll let you know which celebrity stayed here when he came to go fishing in Florida. Straight ahead on John Brown in Your Town. Welcome back to John Brown in Your Town. We're right here along Plant Street, which is really the main street in downtown Winter Garden. And we found a cool place. We're going to take you way back in time. It is the historic Edgewater Hotel. This place dates back to the 1920s, but wait until you see what they've done inside. Inside the historic Edgewater Hotel, it's like a time capsule. It feels just like it would have probably in the 1920s when it opened. Look at that, there's even a barber shop right here on the first floor. We're talking old school. It's now bed and breakfast, but it still feels like that old school hotel. Mike Lanza, he's one of the owners of the place. Mike, good to see you. Thanks for having us in here.
Nice to see you.
Okay, the whole thing is so cool. Tell us the history about this place first of all.
Well, it had opened in January of 1927, and this is prior to any kind of hospitality industry in the area. There was, no theme parks or Disney or anything like that, and people came down for the great bass fishing. It's an old historic hotel now, but it was one of the most technically advanced hotels of its time.
Well, since it was on Lake Apopka, by the way, thus the name Edgewater.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
And I've seen, way before Disney, this even attracted some celebrities in big-time fishing tournaments. Name a celebrity who's been here before.
The most persistently reliable rumor that we have is that Clark Gable had stayed here.
All right, you talked about the technology. You still have the original working elevator. Let's go check that one out. Exactly. All right, so this is so cool.
All right, explain. Is this the lobby now,
Yes,
more or less?
This is the second floor lobby, and our goal here was so that people of our age now could experience what it was like to visit Florida in the 1920s and 30s.
What about the rooms? Have you upgraded the rooms? Because nobody wants to stay in a 1920s bed.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
One thing that we have done is that, every room is kind of individually decorated and has that look and feel of the 1920s and 30s, but there are king and queen size beds. We also have AC. No one who was here in the originally in the 1920s would have had AC. You just would have had the windows open.
Some things had to be upgraded.
Yeah. So you have the look and feel of the 1920s and 30s, but you're going to have the modern conveniences that you could expect in a hotel now.
Right, thank goodness for air conditioning. There's the hotel right there. You can see the first floor. They have the ice cream shop, the barber shop, the chef's table tasting room. So it's really brought a lot of people back into this area. And there are a lot of people tonight. Look at this. These guys, they're getting ready to perform tonight. They're going to have a live concert coming up in just a bit. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. You're at Parks and Rec, aren't you? Good to see you. So, and they're also getting all set up right here. Crowds are going to start showing up. So Ray and Luann, as the sun goes down, this town starts heating up. Modern Day Mayberry, and we're going to be here for it on John Brown in Your Town in Winter Garden.
Such a beautiful, quaint town. John, thank you.
It is Friday. We made it.
We did. The weekend's here.
Woo. And John Brown is in your town, Winter Garden.
The town is right on the banks of one of the largest lakes in our state. And just like Winter Garden, Lake Apopka is seeing new signs of life.
We've made our way to the shores of Lake Apopka, which is cleaning up nice. I even have my shirt on here, the Save Lake Apopka. There's a big bike ride a couple weeks ago. Joe Dunn is with the Friends of Lake Apopka. Good to see you again.
Nice
Appreciate
to see
being
you,
here.
John.
All right, so I was out here, did a story about 7 years ago. It didn't look like this. There's been a lot of progress. Tell us what's been going on with Lake Apopka.
Indeed. The big thing was the North Shore farms turned into wetlands by St. John's River Water Management District. That started the restoration of the lake. So in 20 years, there's been a tremendous amount of progress. We still have more to go, but with like every project, the last bit is always the toughest part.
When I first came out here and started doing the bike rides, there were no birds. There was nothing out here. Now, where we're standing right now on the shores here in Winter Garden, we're seeing, of course, there's an alligator right behind you, but there's all sorts of other wildlife here. For people who haven't been out here, that's really an amazing progression for you guys.
It is, and as the lake has continued to be restored, ecotourism has flourished. Orange Audubon does a big birding festival on the North Shore every December. People come from all over the United States to go see those birds. It's the #1 birding spot in the state of Florida, which is pretty astounding. Yeah. And as I said, with the water quality improving, boating and fishing have flourished and come back. So there used to be 29 fish camps on this lake back in the 40s. By 84, there were 0.
When I did this story with you about 7 years ago, after we got done talking, I was kind of depressed because I saw the lake and I didn't know if it would happen. Here you are this many years later. Did you think you would see this kind of progress happening?
It is cool to see the visual increase, but it was really the heavy lifting for the 20 years that made the difference. So we're now seeing incremental improvements. I have 2 grandsons, 5 and 7. I'm doing this for them. I want them to be able to see. I don't know if we'll have it completely restored in my lifetime. I'm getting a little long in the tooth, but I definitely want this completely restored for my grandson.
You know, Ray and Luann, isn't it true that as you have water, it attracts people because people are attracted to the cool, clean waters? I mean, look at what's happening over there with the fishing and the boating once again. Look at what's happening here in downtown Winter Garden where they create a splash pad. Even in the middle of an afternoon, you get, don't you dare, you get kids like this all showing up to enjoy the water. So it's certainly, I know it sounds philosophical, but water certainly brings people together like it does right here on a Friday night. So again, it's John Brown in your town. We're going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Very philosophical.
Yeah.
Luann was very taken aback.
That's bringing those kids. I wish they would splash you right now. That would be the best. Just splash them, kiddos.
No. We had a discussion. You know I'm a dad. We had, no.
He's using his dad voice. No. All right, John. Thank you, sir.
Welcome back to John Brown in your town. I found 2 friends here. We have Amelia right here. Oh, thank you, Mason. And that's Mason right over there. You got this great little play area out here, the artificial turf, the wipeout. Get it back over to Amelia. There you go.
But what's so cool about this spot right here is one of the newest additions to Winter Garden is this. It's called the Hangry Bison. So it's time for a little restaurant tour. Let's go inside. Okay, let's talk about the name, Hangry Bison. Where'd that come from?
That was, I had this idea for a burger concept. My background's pizza and building your own pizza, and my wife and I were sharing some ideas and different proteins and such, and bison came up, and I don't know if it was her or me or however it came up, but just we've always used the word hangry and kind of tied it into bison and had some fun with it, and it's stuck, and it's almost like when we had the name, we had to do it, right? It was just too perfect, so that's how that came about.
So people may know about your location in Winter Park. Why did you decide to expand here to Winter Garden?
Well, with the concept Winter Park and our success pre-COVID, we started seeking out areas for growth. Knew the concept had legs, and looking for different markets throughout within reasonable distance of Central Florida or Orlando. And Winter Garden, heard a lot about it, spent a lot of time here. I've been a fan of a long time, and sought out sites and found this area, and then really fell in love with the charm of the downtown. Reminded me a lot of Park Avenue, Winter Park, and thought we'd be a good addition.
I also love this open concept like this because you got the artificial grass out there, there's kids running around, you have the fountain right over there for the kids to play in. I guess it all kind of fits into that cool small town feel and the vibe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we love being next to the city park here, and people come on the weekends, and mom and dad will be hanging out on the patio, and the children will be running around and
Wait, so I can sit there and have a drink while the kids are over there playing?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm liking this place more and more. Speaking of drinks, every bar that I've gone to has their one signature drink. What is yours?
Ours has to be the smoked bison.
Okay, the smoked bison. Explain that for me.
Well, simply put, it's not just a drink, it's an experience. And when we make it for you, you'll see that.
All right, let's fire one up. This is why I love my job. I get to come out and try these things. Did you come up with this, or where did this idea come from?
A little bit of me and a little bit of a good friend of mine who has a strong cocktail background.
Joe, thanks so much. Appreciate you having us out here. What's your website in case people want to check it out?
The website's www.thehangry.bison.com.
All right, so we're going to find out how the weekend forecast is shaping up. It looks to be nice. Let's check in with Brooks. He's somewhere along Plant Street here in downtown Winter Garden. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy. It's John Brown in your town right here on Fox 35. Brooks.
Yeah, thanks, John. I'm just chilling here with Ruckus. Ruckus is a bloodhound because it was so hot today. We could classify this as the dog days of summer. Hey, Ruckus, are you having a good night out here in Winter Garden? Oh, okay. I'll take that as a yes. I'll take that as a yes. Good boy. All right. Are you guys big fans of Winter Garden?
Yeah, we love it here in Winter Garden. Winter Garden is just, we love it here.
What's your favorite vibe about Winter Garden? What do you love about this town?
My favorite part is down there with the trees. There's so many trees down by the canteen. They have pizza is our favorite, but since we have him and he's a newborn, we just decided to come here where it's less crowded. But yes, we love Winter Garden. So
that's great. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for letting us borrow your bloodhound. Any excuse to put a puppy on the air. Have a good night, guys.